All right. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone, and welcome to the December 2025 OWASP Global Board virtual meeting. Let's call this meeting to order. We'll start with roll call. As I read off your name, please say here or present or something. Steve,
Here.
Harold, Harold.
Cannot hear Harold for some reason. Looks like he's on
I've
mute.
seen him. I don't know if he's still here or not.
He
Hi,
is, but he's
everyone.
on mute.
Okay.
There he goes.
Harold, you with us?
We
He's
still cannot
talking,
hear you,
but
Harold.
Nothing.
Maybe
All
fix
right,
your
we'll come back
microphone.
to you. Sam,
Uh, I'm here.
Ashwini,
I'm here.
Avi,
Here.
Diego.
Here.
All right, let's try Harold again.
It's there,
Okay.
but I can't hear him.
He's here. Let's mark him as present, please. And I am here myself. Ricardo is here. Great. So I'd like to welcome all the guests here today and the staff. This is the last meeting of 2025. So before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone of our conflict of interests and antitrust policy. Our board represents a diverse global community, and it's important we abide by applicable antitrust and competition laws. If any board member has a conflict, please disclose it now and recuse yourself from discussion and voting on related items. I'll pause here to see if there's any conflicts of interest. No? All right. Uh, are there any proposed changes to today's agenda? Any additions, amendments, anything like that? Okay, hearing nothing. Then the agenda stands as published. Let's also do the approval of last month's minutes. Hopefully everyone got a chance to read them. Um, so going from my same list, let me scroll back up here. As I call off your name, uh, you can cast your vote there. Steve,
Yes.
Harold. Okay, Harold, we're actually gonna need some confirmation. I'll come back to you. Sam,
Yes.
Ashwini.
I think it'll be good to specify how many minutes I was late, like 5 minutes. I think I joined when you'd finished taking attendance and were asking for conflict of interest. So I didn't
Mhm.
really miss the main topics. So that's the only comment I had.
Yeah, that's the last meeting minutes which are being shared on the screen at the moment. So
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
why, so
that's
we
the
need
one.
to
Yeah.
just, yeah.
So sorry, what's your response?
Okay, so if I have to choose between a yes or a no, it's a yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I think what's
Uh,
being shared on the screen, Ricardo, is the last
last one, yeah.
last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Not
Last
not
one.
this one,
Yeah.
not this one agenda. That's
Yeah.
Yeah. Where am I now? Evie,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
and that's a yes for myself. And Harold, if you can do a suggested yes or no in the chat, then we can get that recorded. And I think he just said yes. So let's record that as a yes, please, Sam. Uh, so everyone
Yeah, recorded as
responded in
yes.
the affirmative. Okay. Next, we'll move into the let me scroll back down here.
The
Uh,
summary.
the sorry, the board summary. Yes, yes, please,
Yeah.
Andrew. Thank you very kindly.
Um, it's a very early meeting for us, so therefore we don't have yet the recording from Charity CFO. So I'll take you the best I can through the finance report as well. We would normally have Charity CFO on the call, but this time is not good for them. So when we reschedule for 2026, I'll take that into account, and the meetings will move back to probably midday US Eastern time to allow Marisa to come. We can work that out in that first meeting on January 5. I'm going to be scheduling the meetings tentatively for midday. If there's any objections, do let me know. I will reach out to Marisa and Ashwini, who are the two extremes, and make sure that that's still going to be okay for everybody before I schedule them. We have 483 applications for the Director of Corporate Relations. That's what I've been doing for the last, basically, the better part of the week. It is disheartening to have to discard so many great candidates. It is, there are so many people who want this role. Um, it's almost impossible to choose between them. So I'm going to basically work on the basis that I'm going to get rid of the people who really don't meet the requirements, and just go for the people who've answered yes and yes to the mandatory and optional questions. So we got 8 yeses. That brings me down to about 220 candidates. And even then, it's like I'm looking for people who've got deep nonprofit experience, fundraising experience, sales experience. It is very difficult to choose between them. Many of the people from our community who have applied for the role are not as qualified as pretty much every one of these 483 people who've applied. So I think because they are part of our community, I would like to still interview them. Um, I won't name names on the channel because I don't think that'd be the right thing to do because this is a public board meeting. But yeah, realistically, we've got it seems to be an incredible job market for employers right now. So many great, talented people who want to apply. If you haven't yet made your booking for January, please get that done. It's starting to get to within that first 30 days of travel. It is really going to be very expensive for us. Ashwini, I apologize for not responding about FOSDEM earlier, but it's looking like we don't have any really concrete plans there at the moment. So please don't make any um,
No, I
travel.
booked my tickets already,
Oh,
Andrew.
fantastic.
I did it much earlier. It's just that I kept the option of I just chose flexible tickets. That's the only thing that I did. It's not
No
a
problems.
major difference in the cost. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I've already made my bookings. Ricardo, I've noted to the hotel that you arrive on Saturday. If anyone else is arriving on Saturday, I need to know like real now, like very quickly, because I've already told people who have given the guest list to Hilton. I'm waiting for room confirmation numbers. So once that comes through, I would definitely pass that along to the board members privately. And um, the hotel has asked whether or not we want to have bus transfers. I've said that we may want to do bus transfers for dinner time on Tuesday and Wednesday nights. Maybe Monday night, everyone's tired. We'll just have a meal in the hotel restaurant, even though that might become repetitive after 3 days of lunches there. It's just a lot simpler. I don't know about you, but I'm not really good on that first night after getting into a different time zone. Um, Stacey is working on our 2025 annual impact report. It's going to be our annual report, but it's going to be called the impact report. She is collecting case studies, quotes, and all sorts of things. I'm doing a recording to go up on the OWASP website. We hope to have that published in time for the January board meeting, so that we've got something we can upload to Charity Navigator and GuideStar. The 2024 audit is completed and has been posted to the OWASP website. The 990 has also been posted, the public one. We have a clean audit, and that's really good. I am more than welcome for you guys to provide any feedback on those documents. There's nothing to note. The only thing that has come back is the concentration of risk around our banking. But to actually get rid of that risk would require us to currently hold 8 banks instead of 2. And realistically, the chances of our current 2 banks going under are minimal. So I don't propose that we open more banks. We're going to be funding the OWASP Operations Europe entity shortly. The banking is being opened at this very moment, and it will need some money to pay off some VAT debt. So that will help us again alleviate where we have our money. It'll actually be in a third bank in a different entity. So, for those of you who have not been following along, there has been a recent bunch of attacks from a threat actor called Shawan or Shawi Ahud. I know Steve could probably tell us a great deal more about this, but it does expose us to. I've checked our GitHub. We do not have any of this in our repos, but at the same time, some of the things that it does shows deficiencies in the way that we run our GitHub. So we'll probably end up going and protecting all of our main branches. This is going to take a bit of communication with our community, and it will change the way that we actually operate the OWASP websites and whatnot. So, yeah, Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, I won't comment on the attack. I will, however, suggest that next year we conduct a thorough risk assessment of
Yep.
our use of GitHub Actions, not just GitHub Actions. There's other things as well, but our risk in general, and put forth a plan to kind of de-risk ourselves from especially single vendor solutions.
Are you guys still there? Went very quiet. Oh, okay.
I have this document. I'm going to paste it into chat. It's in the board share. You should all have access to it as board members. Please add your topics to the draft agenda. And we would normally give this to the chair to run the thing. We'll know who that is on the 5th. So if you've got some topics you would like to have discussed, please let me know. Please write them down, and then we can put them into the agenda on the various days. The other part of it is that that particular threat actor likes to steal credentials. The way that the current website is constructed, it doesn't really have any published in the public repos. But we do need to look at the way that we manage our credentials on our own laptops and things like that. There are ways to do that. We probably do need to share that with our community who are doing interesting things. I know some people do have GitHub Actions that are in addition to the ones that we have to rebuild websites. So we certainly need to, as Steve says, look at our GitHub Actions and make sure that we're not accepting pull requests for GitHub Action changes and things like that. Operations, we are still awaiting the completed paperwork from both of the new candidates. We have reached out to them. Oh, there's someone with a hand up.
It's me, Andrew.
Okay, go for it.
I just want to say this. We're going to follow the regular how we did it before that. Ricardo will remain board chair until the public vote. Is that correct?
That is the way the bylaws are written. The officers will be elected on January 5th. It's a published special meeting.
Yeah,
we can
wait.
record votes. Yep.
Oh, you're not going to do the voting in the public meeting for the officers?
We'll read the minutes of that special meeting into the meeting. It's just simply to allow the January board meeting to actually have something that's, we don't spend the entire time arguing over positions.
Okay, I thought the votes had to be in a public meeting. I'll
They
look
do.
that up.
To Don's point, is that special meeting not going to be public? It doesn't need to be a regular meeting. It doesn't need to be a public meeting.
We could easily make it a public meeting. It just needs to be published as far as I can tell, but I'll confer with Sam and make sure that we've got the right type of meeting for January 5. And I think Ricardo and I are on the same page here. We just want to make sure that we've got the officers in place as early as possible so we can get down to
Right.
business.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
check
okay.
the bylaws, Don, and obviously you're absolutely right. If it needs to be public, it needs to be public, and it doesn't need to be an executive meeting. There's no sensitive matters to discuss, so it
Okay.
can be public on Zoom, just like this.
Also, just to let you know, I go on vacation starting Thursday. If I don't have certain people's finished paperwork, they can't vote, the new people on January 5th. So if they don't complete it, because I haven't received a few people's stuff, they can't vote until I have everything. Just so you know that.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll reach out to them again and really encourage them to get their materials in. I do appreciate them not wanting to sign the paperwork until they've read the materials. That's fair, but at the same time, we do need them to complete it. Okay. Are there any questions? There are many additional slides. I hope you've had a chance to look through these. I did hold off again to wait for the minutes and the financial thing to be published. I apologize for the late publication of this again. It was basically ready last week. We just really need to, I think having the meeting later in the month next month will make it easier for us to have these on done on time. Let's just see. We really do need to work on our membership. It is over a year since we've had the new membership system in place. So we're now seeing actual decreases in membership, not just fraudulent members go down. So I think one of the things that will get going in the early part of the new year with Stacey is promoting membership as part of one of the things that we do. Individual membership has gone down quite a bit. Staff, is there anything that needs to be brought to the board's attention before I move on to the finance report?
I'm good.
Okay. Okay, so the DC conference was slightly more profitable than we hoped. And we've also got a 50K refund. So thank you, Lauren, for keeping the eye on the ball there. That's really good. We are still falling short in our corporate support area. We do need to we sent out all the renewals. Thank you to Heather to get that done. So at the end of the day, basically, I'm really hopeful that we'll get some of those collected before the end of the year. I'll do my best to work through cash decreased by 203,000, ending in a cash balance of 1,754,875. It's obviously we're paying our bills for AppSec DC, and we've finally recognized all of the revenue for our event sponsorships. So at the moment, we have 4.68 months of cash on hand without undoing any of the CDs. The CDs are due to roll over next Monday. I have a meeting set up next Monday. If the board or Harold thinks that I should unroll one of them, let me know. But I don't think we need to. I'm reasonably comfortable in our current cash position. We still have over $200,000 set aside in citizens that we haven't even touched. and we've still got over $500,000 worth of savings on the in the savings account. So I don't think we need to touch the CDs, but I will take advice. I've got a meeting with Harold before we actually do the rollover. So if there is anybody who feels strongly about unrolling one of the CDs, let me know. But I don't think we need to touch it.
Sorry, Andrew, is the plan to, if you don't roll over any CDs, is to keep them going, or
Yep.
what's the plan?
To reinvest them, yes. We've earned about $5,000 of interest for each of the CDs this year. And so it's best for us to keep that money going if we can afford to do so. It looks like the best rollover period coming up is 3 months, so we won't be able to touch them again for another 90 days. I don't think we're going to run out of money in the next 90 days, so I just don't think we need to unroll them right now.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
Okay. Uh, my repayment schedule only has a small amount left to go, and there we go. Okay, primarily this is to do with the VAT. We are going to have to pay that. There is a meeting with the VAT desk later this week to go through establishing VAT for Lisbon and Barcelona. And we'll make sure that we pay our VAT debts. We are almost set up in Europe. We've appointed accountants. Our banking is starting to get going. So I'm expecting the banking to be alive within the next 1 to 2 weeks. And at that point, we've got a fully functional entity. And I'll call a general meeting of the OWASP Operations Europe, and we'll get through some of the changes that RB and others have asked for. Dawn.
I think you might want to talk to Lauren. I think there's some change in when the bank account's going to be open. I think it's going to be delayed. It's just an FYI. She said something. It's
Yeah.
not going to be. Yeah.
Aram,
Oh, you're on the phone, Lauren. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, Aram said it would be about 2 to 3 months before it's open.
Why does everything take so long?
He said that because it's an international nonprofit and they need to clear 1 million issues before they allow them to get the bank account. They said they may also reject the application, though they said based on what we do, that shouldn't happen. That's all I know.
Okay. Okay, so just going through here, just really quickly, was there, I know this only got published to you guys about 12 hours ago. Was anybody pick up anything interesting here that's not quite right? Okay.
Andrew, can I ask a question? We did
Yes.
have a question raised, I believe, by Ricardo at the last meeting. There was a line item called workers' comp, which was 41,000 last year. And obviously in this document, I'm seeing it repeated twice, once as 6,000 and second time as 48,000. You promise you'll clarify this because you believe this
Yeah.
was miscategorized. If
Yes,
you search for
so
workers' comp, you'll find it.
I looked into my deal receipts, and there's only around $6,000 worth of workers' compensation for the entire year. It's only about 600 and something dollars a month Australian, which is about 400 American dollars. So I do believe that it's miscategorized. I do need to go back. We'll get that fixed up before. It's definitely 100% a miscategorization. There's got to be some sort of expense there that's been plunked into that, and we just need to go through with Leah.
Yeah, you just hear it's happening twice. Once it's happening for the last month, and second time it appears in the budget figures as well.
Yeah, so I will get that fixed. It does need to be fixed before the end of the year. They also haven't completely correctly calculated my repayment schedule, even though I gave them the exact figures of where we're up to. So that hasn't been reflected in this month's reporting either. So I need to get back with Charity CFO and have a meeting with them and just find out what's happening. Because I've given them the exact figure for how much it's worth on my final repayment. Yes. Dawn?
So where is the workman's comp? You flipped it so I can search it for you. Where did you flip the page too much? I don't see what Sam was referring to.
It's on the
Comps.
personal and
person-
payroll.
Okay, I
Yeah.
will find out and get
And
back
there's
to you.
one more.
Yeah.
So if you click on the second find, you just click enter one more time.
Yeah,
Andrew, you'll
I
find it.
just,
There's
it went-
another figure 48,000. Yeah, there you go. It's here again. So
Okay.
this page is under budget.
okay.
Yeah, I need to find out what this is about because I don't think this is something that we actually pay for
I can-
US.
I'll look in QuickBooks while you're on the call because I can click on the number and see what's coded.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. Okay, so yeah, this number is definitely incorrect. There's something in here that's not right. Okay, interest income, as I said, we've earned quite a fair amount so far this year. We're about to get the maturity of the new CDs. As always, there is some figures at a glance at the back of the actual report. The cash forecast shows us having a healthy cash balance of 1.8 million at the end of the year. And AR is at a relatively low 162,000 and only 49,000 in plus 90 days. I've just approved some of these small $15, $41 sevens here, and there's $100 over here to be written off. They're just bank fees that haven't been reconciled, so we'll just write them off. There's no point in chasing them. We're not going to get that money. So we'll be basically looking at trying to collect some of these other information, the other AR. Most of it is to do with sponsorships, corporate supporters. It is not event sponsorship now. So we're looking to see more of that coming in December. Okay, are there any other questions around the finances before we move on to the main agenda?
Just something I want you to note, please, Andrew. Since there was more than one error in those financials, can you please, when it's updated, redistribute to the board? We want to make sure that what we're looking at is actual and not error prone. So I just ask you that before the end of the year, if we can get proper financials to the board, that'll be great.
Yep.
So, Andrew, at the end of the year, will we be able to see a view that says where our top 3 spending situations were and where we actually gained money? I think it'll be good to have that view, right?
Our programs are broken down through conference, community outreach, and projects.
I think it'll be good to have it as like an annual review item so that we can compare it against the last year and see if we're actually doing better in terms of our main income sources.
Okay, yep, Sam?
My question is on the project summits because there is an expense recorded last month on 38,000 on a project summit, but I believe that
Yep.
we didn't have any project summit last month. So
we
we
had-
got 38,000 expenditure.
We had large group summits, and that figure was we're due a refund of about half that amount.
So we have been letting groups like the CRS group meet in lieu of a project summit. And we've used some of the project summit money that was allocated this year to allow those large projects to actually have their meetings. So, for example, I think it was the CRS team that met in
It is.
Switzerland. Yep.
Yeah, it was all 3 projects.
Yep. So many of these projects also bring in funds as well. So it's not like it's hit
They
the
have
budget.
funded that. We're just waiting on Google.
So yeah.
Okay, and obviously
Okay.
I participated in the OWASP Gen AI project summit last week. Yeah, obviously this is why I was asking. I wasn't aware there was another summit in November, so it was CRS. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Right.
Carter, I'm going to hand the floor back to you for our first piece of business.
All right. So this is the update on the UK training days. Lauren will provide us with an update. So I'm just gonna turn it over to you, Lauren.
There isn't much of an update. We went ahead and we opened registration right before the Thanksgiving holidays, and Stacy's been working really hard at promoting the event. We're off to a slow start currently, but we expect that it will pick up after the holiday season. And that's it for right now for that one.
Can I ask a question, Lauren? Well, basically, it's actually not a question, it's a suggestion. If it hasn't been done, can we please have a custom domain for it? Because asking people to go and search for a very long glue up URL for the London training days, it's quite difficult. If there's a shorter domain, that would be great. Something like London or OWASPtrainingdays.com or something like that.
Yeah, I'll
Approved
work
for
on
all of the events, by the way, global events especially.
Yeah, we have to do that. We just opened up the early bird Vienna site.
Same thing with Vienna, please. Andrew, can you please take it as an action to register Vienna 2026 globalabsec.org to make it easier for people to find the website.
Or globalabsec.org/ whatever. We could, if GlueUp doesn't support it, you could just set this up as a simple redirect.
No, it's supported. It's just basically if we just have vienna.globalabsec.org, just like we had Lisbon, Barcelona before. We're gonna have another Vienna next year and then another year, and then that means it will override it if we create a separate like Vienna 2026, Vienna 2027, and probably do the same thing with Atlanta once we move to Atlanta.
Be like a cost to register new domains every single time we want to do it, Sam?
These are subdomains.
Subdomains.
Yeah, subdomains are fine. We're trying to get away from having custom domains. So things we spend over $1,000 a year on domains. It's not a good use of our money. So I've let about 15 or 20 domains expire that we no longer use. And we're going to pick up OWASP.community at Sam's suggestion. But at the end of the day, basically, we can't have every single domain we ever want. It's not good. It costs money.
But subdomains don't, right, Andrew?
Right.
So we can have a
Subdomains do not.
subdomain. Yeah, let's use subdomains then.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next item, maybe.
All right, sure. So the next item is to modify the membership policy to add benefits for distinguished lifetime members. A little background on this is that we add specific benefits for distinguished lifetime members. This is intended to recognize outstanding service and engagement. So I'm going to invite the board to discuss this. And I see that Andrew has pulled up the pull request in the background. I don't know if anyone's had a chance to look at that, but Andrew, if you wouldn't mind maybe stepping us through the changes there, we can get a better sense of what's going on with this one.
So this actually comes from Sam. So I'm more than happy for Sam to step in and say, well, this is what the two benefits. But leader level discounts for OWASP conferences, training and events, which is a substantial discount over a standard priced entry ticket. Access to leader communication channels and resources, because the vast majority of the folks that we actually do grant distinguished lifetime membership to either former leaders or alternatively current leaders. So I would certainly suggest that these two are the very minimum we do. Are there any other leader benefits that you would like to confer, or additional membership benefits you would like to confer on distinguished lifetimes? Steve?
Yeah, question. Access to leader communication channels and resources. We already have hashtag leaders in Slack, for example. Is this something new, or are we taking something away from existing community.
We also have an OWASP leaders mailing list, Steve,
Right.
and that the mailing list is curated, I believe, by OWASP staff, probably by Dawn, to check that only the people who are leaders participate in that mailing list. While they obviously the leaders channel, I'm not sure if it's curated, but yeah, just make sure that everything which is specifically communication channel designed for leaders, that is still available to our distinguished lifetime members. So we treat them as leaders.
Yeah. Dawn?
I don't believe that leaders list is up to date and hasn't been for a few years.
So
in my opinion.
yeah, and she's
Unless-
right.
Okay.
But I wrote a parser that allowed me to take our JSON files directly out of GitHub and then make new mailing lists that frankly I have to manually maintain once a month. I'm going to transition that to Christian at some point in the near future, but right now I've reinstantiated project leaders, chapter leaders, event leaders, and then it's just a matter of having one list with everybody in it. But it is a manual process because I could not find evidence of the updates. Like when I started, that was one of the things that I was like, oh, this isn't happening.
Yeah.
So I do have one question because I just haven't looked into the store. In Glue Up, does everyone as a leader get that as a tag? So you can just do a mailing list to all leaders out of Glue Up?
Yeah, that is something that we are looking to add a custom field and import it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. The only other thing I'd note here is that this has got a WUFU form. We are trying to move away from WUFU. We don't want personal information in all these different systems. This will move to a monday.com form. So probably if this gets voted on, it would actually include a different URL. We'll get that done. Sam, did you envisage this being voted on this month?
Well, I'm proposing it for the vote, and if there are any questions, we can obviously move it to January. And I think this still needs the community feedback as well.
It should. Yeah. Avi?
2 comments, and they're both already there, so I was just going to ask you to scroll down. About the WUFU forms, I actually suggested having it as a mailing list. You don't need a form. It's not complicated.
Again, we're trying to minimize the total amount of personal data that's managed outside of a certain number of systems. I'd really like to keep it within GlueUp and Monday, and that's it. It makes that
email.
Yeah.
Yeah, Avi, the comments you made that were not on my text. My text you can see in the PR above. Yeah, I believe your suggestion was made to the original text of the membership policy, which is
I did it in the
my
PR.
proposal.
I did directly in the PR. So, yeah, the first one is that there's a typo there, extra words that don't actually.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, this is on the main membership policy. But obviously, my suggestion is just what is at the top of the page, just to make sure that the distinguished lifetime membership awarded people are treated as leaders for the benefits purposes, and they receive leader level discounts to OWASP conferences, training events, and they have access to leader communication channels and resources. That was my addition to the policy. But the rest of the comments that I did was to the original membership policy text, which rightly so will need modification because of consolidation of WUFU, and obviously thanks Avi, I found a typo in the original one as well.
Okay. I'm happy to distribute this to the community and get the process kicked off with the community review. And hopefully we can have that voted on in January's board meeting.
Wonderful.
Well, seconded then.
Okay. All right.
I will record it that this will be tabled until January, and we'll have our 30 days of community period.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Now, let's move on to the next topic. Let me get my list back here. So there's going to be an update on the website design. So Andrew, will you update the board on your progress, please?
Okay, we are very close. The only problem is this still does not have the update to Next.js to prevent React to shell. So we need them to update that. That's a technical level issue that, to my mind, is a real blocker. We can't go live until that's fixed. We don't want to have React to shell as soon as we launch. So, but effectively, we are working on making sure that everything in here is up to date. We're still waiting upon them to fix some visual issues with our partners' logos. We might need to go and get different logos from our partners to make this work on the new website. We've got this sorted, so it's coming together really nicely. As far as I'm concerned, this is like 95% ready for launch. But without that Next.js update, I'm not prepared to go live because we'll get owned on day one. And that would just look so bad. We're not even following our own advice for keeping up to date with technology. And some of the things that I've asked them to do, we can do post go live, such as moving project handbook and submit project from about to the projects area. Whereas here in chapters, it actually has start a chapter, and I do want to have a little button in here for the project handbook. 3 of us have been trained on how to make the modifications to the website. It's coded with Cursor. So you just tell the AI what changes you want to do, and it makes the changes. And so it's relatively straightforward for us to maintain this going forward. Sam.
Andrew, because website for OWASP, I believe, is a strategic resource. Can we also have a round of board member reviews of the draft of the website with feedback provided by the board members, please?
Yeah.
Yes, I can already see a few things I would like to submit feedback, please.
Yes. This Monday got on board with all the changes. And yeah, Steve.
Question, Andrew. I've also looked at the website, and for the most part, this is a static resource. I am really, really curious to know why we have a need to use React on an otherwise static website. Normally, what we would recommend is that you kind of, again, reduce risk for things you actually don't need. So I'm really curious why we're actually using React in the first place.
It actually has dynamic events, chapters, and projects. They are maintained in a Supabase database. Effectively, there is an admin panel which chapter leaders and project leaders will be able to get in and be able to modify their own things. In addition, the about, if we look at down here, for example, finance, all of these documents are come from the database. So it is not a static website. It actually does have a database backend. It doesn't have a lot of elements that are from the database, but the things that are important to us that change all the time are actually from the database. And so therefore we do need to have that backend. And it is React website.
Right.
Is the final pen test done? No, the answer is not. We are still working on getting a final pen test. Once we've got the next JS update, I will kick off the pen test.
Yeah.
I've done a bit of a code review of the code, and there is one singular API that I have concerns with that I've asked a question about. It's actually a Cyclone DX API. I don't know why this one project has an API and none of the others do. It does seem to be unauthenticated. I've asked for it to be either removed or made authenticated because I want to understand what it does. There's no documentation around that API. All the others are either authenticated or deliberately permissive to allow them to work. For example, getting a list of all chapters. This is generated by an API call. The other thing that I've gone ahead and checked is there are no client-side secrets at all in the delivered JavaScript. So our Supabase and other secrets are not exposed to end users. So we won't be having problems with people accessing our database without authorization.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Andrew, question for you.
Mm.
What is your estimate as to when you believe you can get the site live?
I was really hoping for it to be done this month. It's Christian to push the vendor to make the changes that I want.
Hmm.
In particular, the Next.js update. I'd really, really, really like that to be done before we go
Yes.
on holidays.
Hmm.
Um, we do need to do a little bit of leader training, in particular for the chapter leaders who are going to be updating the chapter meetings.
Hmm.
Um, so, for example, chapter events, local meetups. This is updated automatically. I want that to be maintained by the community rather than us. Um, so it's very close to being launched. It's just
Okay.
there are some showstoppers that are stopping us going live.
Yeah, understood. Sorry, Steve.
Yeah, Arunish actually has a question in the
Mm,
chat regarding SLA on security vulnerabilities and patching those. My concern isn't necessarily for the staging website. That's what we're currently looking at. My concern is the
mm.
production website. Do we actually have anything in place from that vendor that says, if a moderate or high severity vulnerability comes in that affects the site, they will patch it within 24 hours or whatever the case is.
We currently do not have that agreement in place. I'll get one in place for us.
Okay.
All right. Any more questions, comments, concerns on this topic?
Question on penetration testing, Andrew, going to make sure
Mm,
that all the security is taken, so not just updates, but also we have an independent penetration test done. And
mhm,
another question I have, obviously, I mentioned on the data source for the projects, chapters, and leaders, because obviously recently we had a great resource in the form of the OWASP Nest project, which
mm,
introduced OWASP schema for
mm.
projects and chapters, and it would be great to see instead of having multiple sources to actually have it integrated with Nest, if not immediately, at least moving forward.
Yeah,
So we
I'll
bring it
reach
all
out
to one
to
golden source of data.
Arkady is actually on the call at the moment. I'll reach out to him and see what we can do. Superbase is once you've got a login, you can actually directly access it. Um, it I don't want to have too many things having access to Superbase by itself, but it does make sense because what's going to happen is that all the JSON files that he probably relies upon right now that are generated via the Azure functions may become invisible once we've changed it across. So this will actually sit behind the Cloudflare proxy. So we'll have a WAF in the form of a Cloudflare proxy right in front of this. It won't be bare to the internet. It will also help with caching some of the static resources that are sent out every single time from Vercel. Um, so yeah, um,
Okay.
I'll make sure that we get the Ruby communications penetration test and the SLA for repair and update sorted before we go live. I just don't want to keep on dragging on because it is so close to being released.
Right. Agreed. Okay, thanks. Let's move on to the next topic. I believe Andrew's going to provide us with an update on the OWASP 25th anniversary celebrations.
Yeah.
Andrew, you might as well, since you still have the mic, continue on.
Okay, so the 25th anniversary, we've got a readers event coming up in January. We've been promoting that on social media. If you have seen those, feel free to repost them. We've got about 100 registrations for it at the moment. And that's so you want to become a OWASP speaker. That's our first event. The second event is our UK training. Um, we're also going to be partnering, we should know by the end of this week, for with NDC on doing a project event out with NDC in Oslo in March. So we are starting to get many of these events lined up. Lauren, I think you said the other day, or Heather said the other day, that we had like 17 events planned in 2025, 26.
Yes, that's correct.
So we are pretty much at maximum capacity for additional events for next year. But many of the things that are happening, Dawn is organizing 12 distinct birthday parties throughout the year, or anniversary parties throughout the year. The first of which is she is currently negotiating with chapters to get those scheduled. There is one, like Dawn, can you just let us know where we're up
Yeah,
to with?
Bay
Yep.
Area is going to do January, February. I'm waiting for him to give me the final. We booked London is March, Israel is November, and then we're going like I meet with Germany tomorrow. Bangalore call got canceled. Waiting for New York's response, and then so once I get one of these two, I'll finalize the calls with everyone else. So we're
Yes.
moving good. It's gonna, everyone's very excited about it. I've gotten good feedback. So I think it's gonna be, it's gonna be a really good social media blast for us for 26.
Yeah. So that is a good point, Ashwini. What time zone is it in? We are trying to spread them around. The one in September will be more US based. I believe the one, yeah, Lauren had given up that one. 224 is CST, and I'll host another one on 921 in Eastern time.
Sounds good.
Okay. So yes, there's going to be plenty of activity. We're going to be basically making a big song and dance about all of these different activities on our social media. I would like the board to repost them if you want, to get people to join in. We will be spreading the 25th anniversary logos and backgrounds like I've got around. We'll be getting out some updated slides. They're currently being prepared in Canva. We'll try and get those into Google Slides and PowerPoint shortly with updated event details so people can actually promote those at the chapter meetings. So things are coming together. I do think 224, we also have a global board meeting. Okay. We can always move that around, Sam. We
Yeah,
can
I've
make
just
that.
checked my diary and I saw a
Yeah.
clash.
Yeah. So I think we might need to reschedule that one to make sure it deconflicts it so people can actually go to both events. Okay. Are there any questions about the 25th anniversary from the board?
What are we doing outside of these virtual events that we plan to have, Andrew?
We do have some chapter and project events happening later in the year. We've just described the first ones that are coming off the rank. We actually do have a content calendar in monday.com. And
I might offer also that we have enhancements coming throughout the year at globals to projects to chapters to membership. Like there's something that touches every area consistently each month to emphasize our 25th year.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so just see.
I see so many hands raised here.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of things that are happening that will be going off. And so things like I'm a project leader, World Showcase, Snowfrock. So we're asking some of our biggest AppSec days to participate in the 25th anniversary and theme themselves along the lines of that. So we're working on that. So there is a calendar that you can have a look at and make any suggestions that you might be interested in. Harvey?
Is there a centralized page or a glue up mini site to centralize all of the events?
We hope to be able to publish this to our main OWASP website. The events publication in the new website allows us to do these dynamically, and so we'll be adding them as we actually have them planned and blocked in.
But is there a single place that I could see all the 25th anniversary stuff?
You can see it in the content calendar right now, but not all of it's finalized. So I don't really want to promote things that aren't currently.
Yeah, I don't mean me. I mean, people want to see all this 25th anniversary stuff. I'd like to suggest that either publish a page or a glue up event with all the listed stuff going on all year long.
I believe that's going to happen, that it's being set up like an event. Lauren had to jump off. I can double check with her and let you know, Avi, or let the board know.
So one of the things that we might be able to do is get that categorized and see whether or not we can get an additional button that says 25th anniversary or something like that on the website. We'll see what we can do for you, and if not, we'll try and get Ingo up.
Sam posted a link in chat for the 20th anniversary. Yeah, something like that. Like
yeah, just what I wanted to remind everyone. So if you haven't seen it, we did have a microsite, and I believe we should easily create another 25th anniversary.
It also gives us sponsorship opportunities there. It gives you cross promotion. There's a lot of benefits there.
Yeah, and because 20th anniversary site is still live, which is great, right? Because it's subdomain, we can see everything, and the history is preserved and archived, so we can see exactly who was the speaker and what we were doing 5 years ago for the 20th anniversary.
Yeah, thanks, Sam.
Okay. Dawn, you have your hand up?
Yeah. Also, all the chapters meetings for what Ashwini said, we're going to, besides say, I'm going to use Sam, London chapter has it on their site. We're going to put them on Meetup too, all of them, because they're going to have virtual, all of them going to have virtual links too. So we'll put them on both. So they'll get posted there also.
Yep. So if, for example, you don't have a party in your area, those 12 parties, we hope to be able to have a virtual chapter meeting or have the chapter meeting broadcast on Zoom so people can join remotely. And because we're holding it all over the world, there'll be something in someone's time zone at some point. Okay.
All right. Thank you all. Any more questions, comments on this topic before we move on? All right. Let's move on to the marketing strategy discussion. Next, we'll hear from Stacy, who will provide us with the overview for us, current initiatives, future focus, and yeah, Stacy, over to you.
Thank you.
Stacy, would you like to be a co-host and present the slides yourself?
If I can do, yeah, if that's easier.
Yep.
I've got them here.
Okay, I'll stop my share.
It's not going to let me share.
Do you want me to share mine and you just tell me when to go forward?
Let me see if it. Yeah, if you can, Andrew, that would be great.
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you. Okay. So I've put together my initial thoughts after we're in week 5 now, which has gone incredibly quickly. And these are just my initial thoughts. I've split them into the key objectives to give you an overview. I'll go into a bit of data and targets and then some more of the specifics. And these slides are available for you. So if you want to have more of an in-depth look and if you want to have more of a discussion around this afterwards, of course, welcome to do that. So my initial 4 key objectives I'm looking for H1 of next year will be firstly to increase memberships, corporate support and general donations. We're going to do this by setting a baseline and growing the number year on year. I've got some more specifics on that coming. To improve the engagement and retention of existing sponsors through structured communication. Secondly, to grow the brand visibility and community engagement. So that will be setting the baseline and increasing social media reach and the engagement by 25%. To improve the visibility of chapters, projects, and events globally. This is mainly based on an observation that we're very good at promoting our events, but we're not so great at promoting everything that we do. So spreading that more evenly across the foundation. To increase the variety of content that we post to include more interaction. So rather than just the static posts that we're used to seeing, getting a bit more creative with it, using some video, polls, a little bit of influencer marketing with our community. And then also expanding to include some more of a developer-focused audience as well as our traditional audience. I'd also like to strengthen marketing operations by creating a repeatable and scalable process. One of the things I'm learning very, very quickly and very difficultly at the moment is that there's a lot of requests and there's only one of me, and it's just trying to figure out how I streamline that with the help of the marketing working group to make sure that the process is really clear for everybody involved, if they want to request something, how they do that, and how we make that easy for everyone involved. And then lastly, to leverage the 25th anniversary, as we've just discussed, we should be using this as our flagship campaign to elevate the brand next year. And we should also be reporting on that activity to you at the end of the year so we can see how we have improved. Moving on to the next slide is some data and targets for you. So based on those key objectives, what would we actually like to do? So increasing the corporate sponsors by at least 10 new supporters. Based on the numbers when I created these slides, which was just last week, we had around 42 corporate supporters. So I'd like to get at least 10 more in the year. I'd like to increase membership by 10%. So we currently have just over 5,000 members, which over the 25 years is only 213 a year, which is crazy. I'd like to increase that to at least 500 on top. I think we can do better than that, but let's see how we go. And as I say, after putting these plans in place, we may adjust the figures slightly. I'd like to also focus on general donations. So we had around $38,000 of general donations. I'd like to increase that by 20%, so add in just over another $7,000 to that. I know that asking for donations isn't traditionally something that we've done in bucket loads, but I feel like there's a way that we can balance that so that it's still community focused. It's just focused on what those donations actually impact rather than just asking for money. So there's a way we can do that without it being too salesy and in people's face. I'd also like to increase the community engagement. So I've taken a look at our LinkedIn followers. We have around 284,000 and we average between 2,000 to 3,000 new followers a month. I'd like to increase that to around 5,000 a month. I think that's definitely doable given that we we'll now have a social media strategy that we can put into place. Improving the visibility of chapters and projects by a minimum of 2 spotlight posts a week so that, again, that content is mixed up. It's not just our events. We're focusing on all the great work that the community are doing within chapters, within projects. That's already started through the work that I'm doing on the impact report. I cannot tell you how many project leaders have given me data. It's amazing. There's so much out there that we can use, not just for the report, but to get a kickstart in January as well to be promoting what we're doing. And then finally, building that scalable marketing process within the first 6 months to make sure that we've got something really smooth that runs for everybody and makes it really clear how they can request marketing help and that we're here to support them, and it's an easy process for them. So I've then cut this down into the strategic priorities. So this is kind of getting into the weeds of things. So firstly, creating a reporting framework, which links back to the key objectives. So I'd like to build out a monthly reporting structure that focuses on social analytics, so things like reposts, mentions, likes, etc., sponsorship revenue, donations, event performance, and then the marketing requests and how many I'm able to pull through, so we can see whether that's working, what the workload looks like. and also some metrics on the anniversary campaign for this year, as that will be key as well. So I'll be working with the rest of the staff to come up with the best way to present this data to you and make sure that we're really clear and transparent in what we're doing and how it's having an impact on the numbers themselves. Moving on, I'd then like to focus on the 25th anniversary. So this should be our year of celebration. As we've already touched on, there'll be monthly themes and content. Star and I have already had multiple conversations about some anniversary merchandising that we can do, and making it really exciting and engaging for the community. I'd like to work with our corporate partners who would be willing to sponsor some of the anniversary initiatives. I've already had a couple of conversations of people reaching out to ask what they can get involved in, and we can get creative with that as well. We can work with them on sponsorship, on co-marketing, and really getting people involved. And we will kick everything off by launching a celebration video on January 1st, which Andrew is going to record for us, just to let everybody know this is our 25th anniversary. We're here, and we're really keen to celebrate with the community. So if you all could mark a date in your diary of January 1st to share that video on social media, we would really appreciate it. Moving on to social media itself. So I'd like to build a more consistent multi-platform presence. Again, as I've alluded to previously, mixing up the content, making it more community driven, having weekly spotlights on the chapters, the volunteers, the projects, but then also weaving in memberships and donations. Why should they be a member? What's the benefit to them? But also, what does their membership money impact? I don't think people necessarily know that super clearly. And I think people will be surprised at the minimum cost that's involved, but the maximum impact that can be produced from that. And along those lines, I'd like to introduce storytelling from real practitioners. We need to humanize this. We need to see chapter leaders. We need to see project leaders. We need to see us. Just letting people know what's going on, I think is really key. And that's the passion has come through even just asking a handful of people for quotations for the impact report. People are willing to give up their time to give even just a few lines of really passionate content for us, which is great. And I'd also like to look at using not only LinkedIn, but also Reddit for paid campaigns. And there's a way that you can really target there. And even if we're not, we can specifically target our area and our audience, but also our area and audience are on Reddit in their spare time as well. It's a place they like to hang out. It's a place they like to research. And there's ways that we can get in front of them there as well for a slightly less of a cost. As compared to LinkedIn. So it's something that I'm currently exploring that we can get involved in the new year. So moving on, social media will then be split into organic social media. So this is non-paid content that we're posting, which we're already doing, but highlighting some themes. So maybe these are just ideas, but maybe it's like a Projects Monday, or there's a chapter spotlight, or we do a social media takeover on one project, gives us a whole week's worth of posts. But also building a community template kit so that we can put it into the community's hands, giving them templated images that they can drop their texts into and they can post on, so that it's all within the OWASP branding, and also a little guide on how to post, kind of how often they should, and what they can be doing to elevate their projects or their chapters organically. And following on from that, we then look at the paid amplification. So as I've mentioned before, looking at LinkedIn sponsored posts and Google ads for key campaigns, as well as the Reddit ads, and then measuring the monthly ROI and adjusting the budget towards the highest performing channels. There is also some Google grants that we're looking into that can potentially give us some funding towards those Google ads as well. And then moving on, I'll also be doing an evaluation of our existing marketing relationships. So there are some costs that are incurred currently for services that we have, and it's just kind of evaluating those and figuring out what's best to keep, or whether we kind of change those relationships slightly now that I'm on board, so that I can take on some of those areas and give some of the more time consuming areas over to the other marketing relationships. But based on the bandwidth and scalability, I'll be able to determine what I can bring in-house myself, and what we need to keep outsourced. And that might be a phased approach, but ultimately the goal is to save as much money as we can. And then moving on to corporate supporters. So I'd like to grow our corporate supporters, as mentioned before. We've already refined the sponsorship tiers with Heather, and created a stronger value proposition and messaging. And this needs to continue throughout the year with regular exposure via case studies. So there's a lot of our corporate supporters that are willing to share their experience, and we can use those case studies to promote to new corporate supporters. And also highlighting the work that we're doing with our corporate supporters at events, at workshops. We'd like to build a more structured check-in process. So I'm going to use the impact report as a tool to kind of explain that having regular check-ins with these guys would be great to gain insights into the impact that we're having on them, they're having on us, and that we can include in that report that they can then use for themselves as well. And as part of that, I'll be asking them if they'll be interested in creating case studies with us, which will help us to encourage new supporters to get on board. We'd also like to explore co-marketing options with our supporters to increase our offerings. So not just at events, but also material. So if there's webinars, ebooks, data sheets that they'd like to sponsor with us and co-create the content, or if they'd like to get involved in any other areas of content, that will be another offering that we would like to put in place. And then along the lines of the packs that we're going to be creating for the community, we'd like to do a similar thing for our corporate supporters so that they can see the value proposition, have digital brochures, have assets that let them know why being a corporate supporter is helpful and what they're contributing to. So just making them feel a little bit more valued. And then finally, is the marketing request infrastructure, which is the final slide. So this is, as I mentioned at the beginning, centralizing all the marketing requests, providing chapters and project leaders with clear process and guidance, and those digital templates that I mentioned as well. And over time, seeing how we can automate any of this system to streamline the repetitive tasks if possible. I'd then like to build an understanding of the number of requests so that we can see what we can achieve on a monthly basis. And that is my initial observations to begin with. I appreciate that is a lot of information. So happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. And before anyone asks any questions, that was great, Stacy. Let's keep this about to 7 minutes. I'm going to start a timer here. Okay, go ahead. Anyone have any questions, comments, concerns?
Steve.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Stacy, this is fabulous. This is absolutely amazing. Thank you for presenting this. Just an aside, I'll get you a couple paragraphs for my couple projects in the next hour or two. They're currently being drafted. The metrics, I love the metrics. I would love to see those on presented to the board on a monthly basis. That would be phenomenal. Andrew, I think a few of those metrics that she was calling out would be really great opportunities for OKRs. So we can discuss that at a later time. And finally, a question for you, Stacy. You mentioned the refined sponsorship tiers. I assume that's kind of work in progress. When will that be announced? Do we know?
So Heather and I are currently working on, we're actually on a call after this to just finalize. I believe that Heather is beginning to roll them out as part of the 25th anniversary packages. So it will be within the next week or so, is my understanding. I think that they're going to be signed off today, but I'll triple check that with Heather.
Very good. Thank you so much for all of this. This is wonderful.
Yeah, Avi?
Follow-on question to what you just said about the corporate support, and I'm going to echo Steve. I feel like I've been thirsty for 3 days, and it's a big glass of water. We have been craving this for so long. About the corporate supporter levels, can we see those before publishing? If you're open to feedback, or I'm sure you guys are doing a great job, but
Yeah, to be
I'd
honest,
say
they've been pulled together from Heather and the EAR committee. So I'm just jazzing them up a bit so they sound a bit different. So I will make sure that they're shared with you with Heather.
Yeah. Um, I'll get them posted to the internal global board list, so we can provide some fearless and frank advice. Um, one of the things I've asked Stacey to look into is also the effectiveness of our newsletters. We do have a couple of newsletters going at the moment. The events newsletter is probably the one that's got the most amount of opens. We really need to see um, if there's a way that we can make those more effective. And in our discussions, I've also been looking at the way that when we do co-marketing events, such as um, going to RSA or DEF CON or any of those other third-party events where we have a presence, maybe FOSDEM, how do we actually track the effectiveness of going to those events? I really want to make sure that we're getting some value out of, like, if we're going to spend money to send people to those events, how do we make sure that we're actually getting something in return? Um, like increased memberships, increased corporate supporters, increased interactions with our projects, people coming to our chapter meetings. I'd really like to make sure that we're able to track that in some way. Um, Lead generation is probably not all it, but there are calls to action that we should probably have ready as a um, uh, um, like a package, if you like, something that we can give to the people that go into these events and say, please show people this and get them to use a discount code or somehow track some of these things. That hasn't been defined as yet. Stacey is still working on things. I think you saw the presentation. This is H1 2026. I think this is very aggressive to get all of these changes in by the first half of next year. But I certainly look forward to seeing it happen. As you mentioned, we've been thirsting for good marketing for a long time. So well done, Stacey. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you have any questions when you review the content, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to go through it.
To view this slide deck. So if you wish to access it now through the link that's in chat, you're more than welcome. Okay, I think we can go to the next slide.
All right. Awesome. All right. All right. Motion to approve the board directors policy. All right. Are we in a position to approve this today? I think this is one of the items we kicked to this month. Have all the bits related to it, public and public feedback and anything else been completed?
Yes,
Okay.
Avi and I met and we closed out all of the remaining feedback. So the actual PR itself, all of the feedback from the public has been incorporated.
Awesome.
So at the end of the day, basically, we have a PR that's ready to go. I did share the previews as a PDF on the internal the global board list. Sam.
Yeah, Andrew, just a question because I was informed that there were still some outstanding items from the review committee, and I think that meeting between yourself, Avi, and I think the review committee, you're saying
Right.
it's now happened, right? Because obviously it was due
Yes.
to happen, but I think it didn't happen. So you've actually completed this. Okay, thank you. Just to clarify.
Yes. So wherever the feedback was there, it's actually been incorporated and is showing up in uh, the PR. So at the end of the day, basically, I think we've got to a really nice place with this. I'd really like to say, I mean, Avi, this is your baby. Would you like to say some words?
I think we've all reviewed this plenty of times. The final changes are, I would say, incredibly minor. They're important. Hopefully, everybody has read through the last version, the last update. If not, you probably pretty much see all of them pretty much on screen. It seems that there's consensus overall to the gist of it. If there's any last minute wordsmithing, Let's hear that, but I think we kind of have that nailed down. Is there any comments, any questions about this from anybody?
Nothing from you, Evie. Great work.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually a package of 3 changes, and because of the policies, they do require a 2/3 majority of the board to pass. Dawn.
Just a quick question. It might be the same question Sam asked. It was brought up in the chapter committee meeting that this didn't go to all the people on the policy review team. Is that correct or not correct? Because one person who was on it said he didn't get it. So I don't know if that's correct or not, because I know it's changed.
As far as I'm aware, it's Tobias, myself, and Harold who are the policy review team at the moment. Didn't have any other volunteers. Who felt that they were left out?
Tobias.
He's the one who said yes to all of the yeses in the Tobias column.
Okay,
so-
he was under the impression there was some other changes. So it might just be, maybe there's not since what he's seen it, but I just wanted to say that.
Maybe it was a different Tobias.
Excuse me, Avi, I didn't hear what you said.
Maybe it was a different Tobias.
Is it Tobias Klesmer?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. No, we've incorporated his feedback.
Okay, so maybe he just thought there were more changes, but he already seen them. Okay, I just wanted
He's seen them all.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was it. I just wanted to make sure.
Thanks for that call out, Dawn. All right.
We do probably, based on the committee's 2.0 policy, we're supposed to have the policy review team in place by January 1 every year with 7 people on it. I think we do need to look at that policy in detail because I do think we need more people on the policy review team. But finding new volunteers is not as simple as just simply the policy itself asks for a whole bunch of different people from different walks of life to be on it. I think that policy is one that needs to be reviewed, but that's not the scope of what we're looking at today. So we'll see what happens.
Enough.
Okay, so
All right.
I think we're ready for a vote.
Great. Okay. Yep. Thank you for bringing up the motion. So resolve that the board approves the board of directors policy, replacing the existing elections policy effective immediately. And let me just bring up my list here. And we're going to vote on it. Right there. Steve, what is your vote?
That would be a yes for me.
All right. Harold, are you able to speak? And what is your vote?
I don't know. Is this working now?
Oh, yes, that's perfect. Awesome.
So the vote is yes.
Great. Sam, your vote, please.
Yes.
Okay. Ashwini, your vote, please.
Yes.
All right. Avi, your vote, sir.
Yes.
Diego, your vote.
Yes.
All right. And that's a yes from Ricardo. And that passes. Great stuff.
Okay, the next
So
one.
what happens from here, Andrew, just for the record here?
There's a PR that will get merged. That PR will also delete the elections policy.
Okay.
Okay, so as it says in the motion, it replaces the elections policy. So the old election policy is removed. This will replace it.
Perfect.
There now needs to be a bylaw change to point to this policy instead of the elections policy, which is the purpose of the next motion. It's a very minor change. It literally is 7 changes.
Real quick. Yeah. And would you mind bumping that up a little bit for me, please? It all looks like lines to me. Thank you.
Yeah, so the elections policy becomes the board directors policy. The election policy becomes the board directors policy. The elections policy becomes the board directors policy. So it doesn't change the bylaws except to point to the correct policy.
Okay. Seems simple enough. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns before we take a vote?
Yeah, what happens if we don't approve this one?
That makes it very difficult for the director's policy to exist because it's not being pointed to correctly by the bylaws.
I have another question. Sorry. When you're voting to change the bylaws, we have to submit that with the state of Delaware?
People that we did that to, I think we do.
Yeah, and do they technically, and I'm not sure on this, I have to look it up. that they're technically not in effect till the state acknowledges them? What is the
No.
wording on that part?
No, we just inform them of our new bylaws.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure. All right.
All right. Great. Okay, so let's vote on the bylaw changes. I read the motion. Resolve the OWASP Foundation bylaws are amended to reflect the change from the election policy to the Board of Directors policy, including removing references to the old election policy effective immediately. And from the list I have in front of me, we're going to vote on this motion. Steve,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Sam,
Yes.
Ashwini,
Yes.
Avi,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
and that's a yes from Ricardo.
Excellent.
And that motion has passed as well.
Thank you. I'll get that
Point
done.
of order. I think it's
Sure.
important to
Mm-hmm.
sponsor. I sponsored this one. You were seconded this one, and the previous one was Harold seconded it.
Sorry,
Yes.
I did not mention that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you
So
very
this
much for
one,
that call out, Avi. That's very
uh,
important.
this is a relatively short antitrust policy, which puts the things that we talk about at the beginning of every board meeting, gives it a policy framework. It is mentioned in the board of directors policy, and it's also mentioned in the bylaws, and we didn't have it, so we needed this. So this is a very short policy that brings into line with what we've been saying at the beginning of every board meeting for the last 4 years, and give it a policy around that.
Okay.
So,
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns about this change?
I have a question. There were some broken links in there. Andrea spotted by Avi. Have you fixed them in the previous draft?
not seeing any broken links at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not
Let
sure
me
whether that
just-
was conflict of interest or whistleblower. One of the links was broken there.
No, they all work.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, great. Anyone else? All right, if you wouldn't mind switching back for me. I think I've sufficiently confused myself as to where I am on my screen. All right. Where are we here? The motion to approve the antitrust policy. And it's resolved that the board approves. Oh, sorry. It is sponsored by Avi and seconded by Diego. And the motion reads, resolve that the board approves the antitrust policy, which is required to ensure compliance with U.S. antitrust laws effective immediately. So the vote will start with the same list I had before. Steve, can I have your vote, please?
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Sam,
Yes.
Ashwini,
Yes.
Avi,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
and that's a yes for me, Ricardo.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay.
All right, what's our next
Basically,
item?
year-end review and social. I don't think we have an executive session today. Sorry, Dawn, go ahead.
I just have two things for the board. Please don't forget that we need individuals for the compliance committee, which is the board picks that.
Okay.
And also, we're looking to change our insurance or look for other rates. And if anyone's familiar with any good brokers or anyone or insurance companies, please let me know because I'm just cold calling. So any feedback would be good. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Dawn.
Okay. There is one item in the compliance committee that I've been made aware of in the last day or two that is nowhere near ready for an executive session.
Okay.
I will inform the board in the internal global board about that. It is to do with a situation that we dealt with in a past year.
Okay.
It is just resurfacing, that's all.
Got you. Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Andrew.
But I don't think we need an executive session on
Mm.
it. Okay. Year-end review and social.
All right. So I would like to first start by thanking the entire board and the staff for their time this year. We've actually held the ship steady, I think, through the course of the year. And I really appreciate us putting in the time, definitely the staff putting in the effort to keep the ship running and steady as she sails, right? So I'd like just to thank you all, first of all, for all of your contributions. And I think that, part of the success we had is because we really work well together. So I would open it up right now to everyone else if they wanted to say something at this point, the other board members. But I just wanted to make sure that I absolutely thank everyone for their efforts this year. So I'll just open it up right now for anyone else who has any comments.
I would like to say thank you so much for Avi and Diego for your efforts on the board this year and throughout your term. Um, Sorry to see you go. I hope you stay around and get involved in the compliance committee
Yeah, I was
and
going to say that. There's
Di
openings.
Diego continues on the European operations board. So he's not gone.
No, no, we won't let them get away.
So yes, thank you so much, Avi and Diego, for all your effort. And especially Avi, you've been our chair. You've done some huge reforms in your time, so thank you so much.
No, actually,
Absolutely.
had a
For
little.
the record, for the record, I'm not gone either. I'm taking a short break, just basically to work on apps like Israel. Then I'll be back doing other stuff.
All right.
I'm going to
Probably
really
not the
miss all the
compliance committee.
policy work, Avi.
I say probably not the compliance committee.
Yeah.
You can always invite us, Steve, to help out.
Well, we also have the policy review team that needs people who understand the bylaws and our policies. So I'm looking for volunteers.
Note to Harold, I did already volunteer for that post board.
So I actually had a little spiel before Evie, and I was going to say it at the end, but I think this is probably a more opportune time to tell you. So I would like to actually personally thank you. You've actually been my unofficial mentor for my entire time on the board. You greeted me so graciously. You've actually been a wise counsel that I've always had to call on. Yes, we've never actually disagreed heavily on things, even though we have disagreed. But I think that's a good thing. And I think that you bring a level or aspect of looking at things that, sometimes makes us view them in a new light. And I would like to just personally thank you. Thank you for all your effort and being that unofficial mentor to me during this time. And I hope that you will stick around in whatever capacity, hint, hint, in compliance or something like that, to further help the board going into 2026. So I just wanted to tell you that before you left this call, and I think that this is a more appropriate time to
Very
say
touching, Ricardo. Thank you very much. Some surprising words there, but very touching. Thank you. It means a lot.
I'd also like to thank my staff. Without the staff executing all the things the board's been putting into place, we would not be here today, especially with our events, our projects, our chapters, our membership, and all of the wonderful things that we get up to. Sometimes it's not obvious what we get up to, but they work really, really hard. We do have the 4-day work week, but I know many of them work 5 days. So I do appreciate all the efforts they've been putting in, all the extra hours they've been putting in to make this all possible. Everyone believes in the mission, and we really want to have a huge 25th anniversary and pull it off really well. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart to all the people on the staff.
Yeah, I would like to second all of that. I think over the last 2 years, Avi, we've had a healthy amount of conflict on the board, so that we can actually have the debates that are necessary in order to move the foundation forward.
And
So,
some unhealthy conflict.
what
Not
exactly,
us, on the board, not
exactly,
us.
exactly. So, and I think as a board, you've helped kind of lead that. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Cool.
I would like to join Steve and also say big thank you to Avi, also for being a mentor and absolutely great colleague. Avi and I go back many years, and we did serve together on the chapters committee where Avi was absolutely crucial to make sure we actually have a solid chapters policy. And we did have many disagreements, but these were very constructive disagreements because from these disagreements actually very good policies and I believe very good stewardship was born. Very thankful to Avi, great for mentorship. Thank you for introducing to a great conference, AppSec Israel. I'm hoping to be there in 2026 at AppSec Israel Tel Aviv with you as well. Great conference, greatest food at any OWASP conference is AppSec Israel. A shameless plug for you.
Story. And great beach weather. You're all invited.
Of course, big thank you to OWASP staff, Lauren, Don, Star, Christian, Hayden, Heather,
Stacy,
Stacy.
Andrew.
Thank you all, and of course, Andrew. Amazing work. Thank you very much. I think for the first time in many years, we have the board and the staff really aligned to our mission, really understanding and caring for our community, our projects. And I think this is absolutely great that we all work in synergy. I think someone noticed, it may have been Avi, because he goes back quite a lot of boards back, that for the first time ever, I think every single vote we had, it's all unanimous, right? We haven't had a single person disagreeing of what are we voting on. I think this is great because we are all aligned and we're all in synergy. So thank you very much
Not
to
every
all
vote.
WASP staff.
Most fits.
Not every vote, Sam. I disagree with that.
I knew you would say that.
This.
Very good.
Oh, one other thing, Andrew, don't forget if they do the voting and they go on about what happened with the treasurer stuff with the bank set to tell them.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
our bank has asked that the treasurer is someone who has easy access to a Chase branch, which essentially means the treasurer needs to be from the United States. Next year's board, there are 4 board members who are eligible for that, and so that's something that we do need to consider on the 5th of January.
Okay, so noted. All right. Are there any staff members who would like to say anything right now, or?
Thank you to everyone. It's been a crazy year. It's always crazy at OWASP, though. It's been a crazy 12 years, so who am I kidding?
Yeah.
But happy holidays to everyone. Hopefully everything's peaceful and pleasant for everyone. And you take time off, because I promise besides January 1st, because I have to do the board stuff, I am not answering emails. I'm shutting down for this holiday vacation. That's the game plan.
So I will be, once I've got through all of these LinkedIn things, I will be declaring inbox bankruptcy on January 5th. If you haven't had a response from an email from me by then, just send it again.
Okay, that makes me twitch. There was an old ED who did that, and I was like, oh my God.
No, the part of bankruptcy about that is that you actually say it to everybody and you make it really obvious that you've done it. That way, there is no false expectations. So, yes, I will try to get through my inbox before the end. Now, most of the staff are off next week. I go off on the 24th, but almost everybody else is away and making it into a 2-week holiday. So, if we will be announcing the office closure a little bit earlier than normal to the community. But yeah, the staff have had a crazy year. We've done a lot, and they deserve a good solid break.
On that note, I'd
Okay.
like to personally thank all the staff for an amazing 4 years, exhausting 4 years. But yeah, as the 4 years of being on the board, I think the staff have done an amazing job. And OWASP today is not the same as it was when I started 4 years ago. Hugely improved, thanks in large part to the staff. My biggest regret, I think, is not still being on the board to see what Stacy will do over the next while, but I'm sure I'll be able to see it externally as well, which, by the way, is one of the big things I think is worth noting. The board does so much that nobody else sees.
Yep.
Note to selves that we should publicize that a bit more. And I'll also thank my co-board members over the past few years, as it's been a ride. Thank you all.
We'll get
Thank
you on a
you.
committee of stuff by, a few months.
Yeah.
There is a
January
marketing working
6th.
group.
Awesome. All right.
Okay.
Hopefully, anyone who celebrates it, I just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas. And if you don't
Thank
celebrate
you.
it, I hope you have a great holiday time anyway, if you do find yourself taking a few days off around that period. And I know I am
Happy
actually looking
Hanukkah.
forward to, yes, Happy Hanukkah. I'm looking forward to my time off. So I haven't spent a large amount of time with my family in quite a while. And as I finish off a few things for my personal side, really look forward to spending more time, especially with my kids. So yeah, it's almost I'm on the edge of my seat. I almost can't wait.
Ricardo, I want to thank you for filling some really big shoes this year. I think you've done a phenomenal job as chair. So
Thank you.
thank you for everything that you've done.
Thank you very much, Steve. Very kind words. All right. Diego, I did not forget you, sir. Uh, I think Andrew described it well. You're not really going anywhere, so this won't be a goodbye. It'll be more of I will see you later. And I hope as your term ends at the end of the year, I hope you do stay in touch. We've had many great personal conversations, and I hope that continues well beyond next year. And I wish you all the best, and I hope you run for the board again, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
You'll be
Absolutely.
hearing from me because you'll be on the EU board.
Yeah, I will be.
What cool question? When are those boards going to be start? When are those meetings starting? And are they going to be reported in the same way, Andrew, on the
Yes.
website? Okay, okay.
So my plan for next year is that we meet quarterly.
Yep.
And honestly, when the bank account opens, the first two decisions the board has made is appoint accountants and a bank. Once those two things are done, I think it's time for a general board meeting for that particular entity. Hold quarterly meetings thereafter. I don't think there's going to be a lot of business before that board. It's
Mhm.
really about making sure that VAT obligations are met, that they actually have their financial reporting done, and things like that. So I think quarterly meetings is probably a more than adequate meeting frequency for them. If they wish to meet monthly, I'm more than happy to do so, but I'm not sure what they could possibly meet about, considering the scope that we've given them.
And we'll set up a page,
Mhm.
before I'll set up a page and this way their minutes will be there too. A link to it. It'll be based off of the regular board page with a link to the EU. And
Yeah.
we're going to put their photos up and stuff now that it's official after January. Once Angela has the meeting list, we can set all that up.
Yeah,
Awesome.
very cool. Okay. Well, lastly, in a bit of a downer, I do want to just acknowledge that we had a terrorist attack in Australia, and it was a anti-Semitic hate attack. I just wish to remember the victims and please go into this season hugging your loved ones And yeah,
Okay.
we're coping with it. It's a bit of a shock. It's been 30 years since we've had such an attack, and yeah.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Mm.
Yeah.
But please take this holiday time to be with your family and have them tight.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Work-life balance, they say. Joy. Easier said than done, but at least during the holiday time, try to.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Happy holidays, everyone. Enjoy,
holidays.
relax.
Happy holidays.
Happy
All right.
holidays.
Ricardo,
People are not
you
on
need to
board
adjourn.
January 1. I will
Really?
find you, so don't worry.
Yeah.
No worries.
Ricardo, you must adjourn.
Oh,
Yes, I know.
sorry.
So, do we have a second on the adjournment?
Let me have this.
Let
Come
Avi
on.
do it.
Let's do
action
Abby.
order. Come on.
One
customary.
last go, Abby. Awesome. So the next meeting is a special meeting on Monday, January 5th at 12 p.m. Eastern. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Andrew, can you please make sure that the new members of the board are there? I know it might be quite challenging for Marissa because we
well, I
need
suppose-
all the new board members to be there to elect new officers.
Okay,
Yes,
and how long is that meeting going to be scheduled for?
I've scheduled it for 2 hours.
Okay,
It won't
we're going to
take that
probably
long.
have to update the voting because when that was voted, it said that the board in January had to have a private 4-hour meeting. It's listed. So I'll
we
send
actually
that
have a-
vote.
Wow.
Yeah.
No.
I'll send-
No. Dawn, we're doing
Yeah.
a board summit in January that goes for
Oh,
3
so you're
days.
good. Yeah, so you're good. Never mind. You got the summit. Okay.
All right.
But you might want to change that for the future because Ricardo just eyes were like 4 hours.
The other thing is we want to make sure that the new director's paperwork is completed. And
I will let you know that
Yep.
on January 1st.
Okay, thank you very much. And just to make sure that they're able to vote. So it is moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Bye.
All right. Have a great holiday, all. Take
Have a
care.
nice holiday.
Yeah. See you in the new year.
Cheers.
Bye.
Happy
Bye.
holidays.
Is there an executive session? According to the
There's no
schedule?
executive session.
Okay. There's one on the agenda.
There's nothing to discuss.
All right. All right. Cheers.
Okay, bye-bye.
Happy holidays. Bye.